Hey everybody, let me straighten you out. It's Mumbai Grab yourself a piping hot cup of coffee out of the mug that your daughter did in class. Look, she took a pair of scissors and made a face and an art picture, and we had it made into a mug, keychain, an apron, and everything else. Here's the thing. Last night when I went to bed, I had 596 subscribers. Beth, Silver Scream Girl, went and made a video and talked about it, and when I checked today, I had 512 subscribers. Just boom, just like that. I have turned over my subscription page to the fine auditors at Ernst & Young, and they are trying to determine who is the 500th subscriber. Once I find that out, I'll do some special shout out and so forth. Until then, I owe Beth something that she's been asking for, and so that's what I'm going to do. That's right, I'm jumping ahead in my Dougtalk vlog to the dreaded monsoon flooding, 100-year flood. Let me preface this really quick. We were there, I got there right when monsoon season is supposed to start, and July 26th or 27th, we were in the office, and long story short, we got caught in terrible monsoon flooding while at the office, and there were 8 of us, I think. And that's where the story picks up. We lost all connectivity of every kind, no cell phones, no nothing. And so everybody back home was very worried about us, needless to say. So, Kai, you can listen in, but you can't interrupt, but say hi.
Hello.
Okay, I'm going to tell the flood story.
Really?
Yeah. You want to hear it?
Yeah.
Here's how that vlog starts, or vlog. And this must have been it's in 2 parts, so I can't do it all in one video, it's too long. I love you. Starts off like this: thanks to God, we are safe. It's about 8:15 p.m. on Thursday evening here in Mumbai. Let me start off by saying all 8 of us in this traveling group are fine. Myself, Deborah, Tanya, Tracy, Laura, Holly, John, and Jennifer. Well, needless to say, I'm happy to be in a place where I can even access the internet, and I'm comfortable and safe. Since my last post, a lot has happened, so I'll try to catch you up, at least the highlights or lowlights of the past couple of days. The last time I posted, we were still at the office on Wednesday morning around 4:30 in the morning. The flood began to subside around the office, and we decided we would make another attempt to get out of the office around 7 in the morning. We had been sitting around chatting in the office and were wondering how long the rains and flood might keep us confined to this office. We even had a couple of side bets, friendly bets of course, as to how long it would take to get out of there for good. We were fantasizing about creature comforts, the likes of which were not present where we were. Things like hot food, hot cloth to wash with, plentiful drinks, clean restrooms, phones, etc. So we woke up all 4 of the drivers who were asleep in our cars in the parking garage. They weren't excited about the prospect of leaving and trying to get us to the hotel. They simply felt it would be too dangerous. Of course we pressed them until they were agreeable, knowing that if worse came to worse, we could come back to the office and be safe. So we headed out, our caravan of 4 black Hyundai Sonatas, onto the flooded streets of Mumbai. At first, we were feeling confident because we drove along a relatively large road and it was really quite clear of water. Then, we were forced to take side roads because the main roads were blocked with abandoned vehicles and various other debris. The conditions on the side roads we entered are difficult even to put into words. The first and most obvious things we saw were trees that had fallen or been uprooted by the wind, the vehicles that were pushed into one another or into trees and buildings, and the general chaos that prevailed in the area. As we made our way through the winding roads, frequently making U-turns to backtrack away from debris, we noticed even more of the monsoon's aftermath. The most surreal moment was when we were driving down a divided road that was no longer flooded. We came upon a cow which was dead and laying half in the median divider and half in the lane we were driving. This was the first of many animals that were laying dead in the street. There were many sheep, goats, and other various animals who weren't able to withstand the force of the moving water and had been carried away by the force. They all seemed to stop in a place that physically stopped them from moving any further, like under an overturned auto rickshaw or along fences, etc. It was sad to see the destruction, and I don't think any of us could have prepared ourselves for seeing all of this firsthand. We drove around for about 45 minutes until we realized there simply was no way to get back to the hotel from the office. We made about 2 miles worth of progress, but the hotel was 3 more miles away. We headed back to the office, disappointed and still very tired, and now, with the shock of having viewed our horrific surroundings. The office supplies water to its employees, but it's not water that we feel is safe for us to drink, as our systems would probably become infected by bacteria. The locals don't have this problem, so they didn't really have the same concerns. However, we were running low on bottled water for ourselves, which had been provided by the office staff. We were sharing small bottles of Aquafina and trying to drink sparingly since we didn't really know how long we needed to make it last. After a while, they brought us several larger bottles of water, and we were set for a while. They also brought around some buttered bread for us, which was very nice given the circumstances. We waited around the office for quite a while longer and received word that there may be a passable road that would allow us to get to our hotel. When we heard this, we quickly found our drivers in the garage and had them meet the one person who had heard of this route we could take. The drivers got the instructions and we were again on our way. We drove for about half an hour, oftentimes through flooded roads that could very well have stalled the cars. Thankfully, the cars never stalled, but we eventually ended up at a turning point where we had to make a decision because we could go no further by car due to the depth of the water. So, we collectively made the decision that all 8 of us would make the rest of the journey on foot, carrying all of our belongings. The decision was based on not knowing how bad it could get at the office with the limited supplies and not knowing how long we would be stuck there. So, heavy bags in tow, we headed off. Oh, sorry. Gosh, I dropped the thing. By this time, we were also accompanied by Bharat, one of the senior managers at the office where we were working. He rode with us because his house was on his way to the hotel, on the way to our hotel, and he also felt he could assist us if we ran into any real trouble. When we first got out of the car, the situation didn't seem too bad. We were able to walk along the 2-foot wide concrete median to stay out of the water for a while. But then, even the median was covered in water, and eventually we were walking in brown water up to our thighs. It's difficult to explain what it's like trying to walk through this water, carrying heavy laptop bags, the women in our group also wearing heels, and some carrying umbrellas with unimaginable floating debris, and who knows what might have been beneath the water. We were often fighting off debris from our feet, ankles, and calves. As things would get caught up on us, we would have to try and shake it off. We were also surrounded by the hundreds of thousands of people who were also trying to get from one place to another, but everyone seemed to get along as best as possible under the circumstances. The locals were excited to see us and walk alongside of us. They would often walk with us, smile, and make conversation. I have to say, I think if I had needed their help with anything, I feel confident they would have been happy to oblige. Aside from the enormity of the natural disaster, we were in the midst of, I felt, very safe and non-threatening by anyone. We walked through mazes of submerged cars, rickshaws, and various other things along the way for about an hour and a half. At one point, a hypodermic needle floated by our group, and at that point, we all became a little nervous. We made to the street where our hotel sits, and that street was clear of flooding. We were thrilled to be walking through the front security gates of the hotel, but were disappointed when we walked into the lobby and the hotel was noticeably without any power. There's more to this story, but I'll have to reserve it for my post later this evening. The gang is meeting for dinner here at the hotel, our first group dinner gathering for several days. I don't want to be late, and I'll post again in a while. Thank you to all who have been thinking and praying for us. I also appreciate those who have sent emails of concern and encouragement. More soon, Doug and the gang. Being that I'm at 9 minutes and 22 seconds or something like that, I'm going to have to do the part 2, which is this long. That's part 2 of the Mumbai flooding experience, which really tells how it all came about and how it all ended. So we're going to have to finish it for now, aren't we? Glad you weren't with me in the flood. I would have had to carry you. That would have been bad. I would have put you in my laptop bag. Say bye to everybody.
Bye.